All right, fellow patriots, welcome back to another Friday Mental Jujitsu. My name is Michael Buell, and I'll be your sensei. Hiya! Ah. All right, guys, check it out. What do we got? Christmas Massacre. It happened once before, it could happen again. So check this out. If George Washington was willing to cross the icy cold Delaware on a stormy Christmas night with 2,400 American patriots, do you know it took them 11 hours to cross the Delaware in a storm? 11 hours across the Delaware. Once they crossed the Delaware, they then had to march 10 miles in the storm for another 4 hours. 15 hours. 15 hours they did this behind enemy lines. They got out of there. Some of these are civilized men. Some of these are aristocrats. These guys left their warm beds and their wives to go out in a storm to go kill people. If they're willing to do this, but get this, it gets more. Civilized men, yeah, these guys got table manners and stuff, right? They did this on their holiest holiday. Baby Jesus was born to kill their fellow Europeans. These Americans, we're all Europeans, but in 1776, they're direct bloodline Europeans. They're straight up cousins with the same faith. They all Christians. The only difference about these people is they spoke another language. That was it. The Germans. That's what they crossed the Delaware to go kill the German mercenaries. They called Hessians. So if these are willing to go do this to their fellow Christian cousins, what do you think the unholy alliance of third world communist Islamic left-wing lunatics would do to you? When they released this Trojan horse army, and I'm doing this because of that incident with the Afghan guy that we trained that killed um, shot at the guards people. Yeah, that's Trojan horse army. There's soldiers, saboteurs, and hackers, as well as the South American incursion of drug cartels, violent gangs, and recently released felons from the worst prisons in the Southern Hemisphere. What do you think these people are going to do to you? They come from hostile countries with hostile religions and hostile cultures. They hate your race, they hate your religion, they hate your American culture. And I'm not just talking about white people. They're here to destroy all things American. The four tribes for the 400 years that we built this country from the dirt up. You think they're going to let the Native Americans, you think you're going to keep your casinos? You think you're going to keep rain dances and sweat lodges? Communists don't let that shit happen. Muslims don't let that shit happen. Chicanos, you think you're gonna have the Virgin Mary statue out front of your house? They don't put up with that shit. You ain't drinking, you're putting the disco ball up in the front yard and people running around until 2 a.m. drinking tequilas, cervezas. That shit ain't going down in Muslim land and commie land. Black Americans, you're not hanging out at the park blasting your music, smoking a doobie and drinking a 40. Not doing that shit with Islam running around. And white people, you're first on the list. You got to go first. Once they get rid of Whitey, they're going to break you guys down. They're going to come to you. So that's what I'm saying. You got to team up with the Assembly of Patriots. We got to defend against the unholy alliance. They all got to go. All of us have to agree. They all have to go. So this is my hierarchy of deportation. Let's get them out of here. The first on the list is the Trojan Horse Army. They got to go. The FBI Director Christopher Wray already told you that the enemy was here. You know the enemy is here. It's just how many are here. What do you think? You think it's 10? You think it's 100? I think it's 1,000,000. I say 1,000,000 enemy combatants are in our country ready for their text message. Right, Don, go, go, go. Yeah, the soldiers, saboteurs, and hackers. And you've seen them come from the Middle East, Guatemala, China, Islamic places in Africa. I mean, they're coming from everywhere. They have no loyalty to us. There's nothing about us that they like. But number two on my list, this was a tough choice between them and the South American incursion. But the child predators, let's just get this over with. We got to get these people out of here. It's incredible. And I'm talking even American citizens. We got to deport them. Yeah, this was a tough choice between them and this. Yeah, I figured we'll pick up some of the South American incursion in the raids. They'll be mixed up into that. So it's like killing two birds with one stone. Number three, of course, the South American incursion for the purpose of chaos. That's why they're here, for the purpose of chaos. Drug cartels, violent gangs, and recently released felons. They roam our streets freely. Can you believe it? At any moment, there'll be a double agent if fighting starts and the Civil War type thing starts, and the Unholy Alliance that does the Red Dawn go, go, go. Who do you think, whose team do you think they're joining? Coming against us, man. So they got to go. Send them out of here. Double agents. Number four on my deportation hierarchy list are the obvious enemies. Those that are literally in the street chanting death to America. What? You got to go. You got to go. Those that are claiming, straight up telling you, they are pushing for Sharia law over the Constitution. Here's the door. You got to go. Of course, Antifa and BLM, bunch of commie traitors. Get them out of here. Get them out of here. All right, number five, the economically uncooperative. These are the invaders that are just here draining the system. This is a game to them. This is part of their strategy. They got five wives who are paying taxes on all five of their wives and they don't work. None of them work. So we got to get them out of here. Yeah, economically uncooperative, invaders who drain the system, people that take more than they give, welfare queens, 5 generations. They got a strategy how to do this. Yeah, they got a strategy. They got to go. Send them out of here. Here's what I do say: the hardworking people, would consider them guests. They're just guests. You're a guest. But, they want to pick the strawberries in the fields. I don't want to pick the strawberries. You don't want to pick the strawberries. So we'll have our guests. Let them stay. Let them pick the strawberries. Do the jobs we don't want to do. Let them set up awesome food trucks or whatever. Food, not trucks, food restaurants. Mexican food and Chinese food and whatever else. A few places like that. We keep a few of them, but they don't have any voting rights. They don't get to vote. You don't get to tell us how to live our lives, what direction our destiny goes in. So, all right, our destiny is up for grabs. What's going to happen? I don't know, but you better resist and assist. I'm out.